Hi there, I have a question for you. True or false? Brown eggs are better for you than white eggs. Have you ever thought about that? Hi, I'm Kim Lukhard, Hockey Mom RD, and I know many people have. They wonder when they go to the grocery store, should I buy brown eggs or should I buy white eggs? Which one's better for you? Well, when you look at the calories, protein, and fat in each of these eggs, they both contain about 70 calories, 6 grams of protein, and 5 grams of fat. The color of the shell is determined by the hen that laid the egg. So the next time you go to pick out eggs, look at the label on the carton and you can check out what type of diet the hen was fed. If the hen was fed a vegetarian diet, perhaps there's going to be maybe a little bit less cholesterol in the egg and some added omega-3s. But if you're just looking at the shell color, the color of the shell of these eggs is determined by the breed of the hen. So you can eat a brown egg or a white egg, scramble it up, and make your omelet. And you're still going to be consuming 6 grams of protein, 70 calories, and 5 grams of fat. Happy skating till next time. This is Kim Lukhard, Hockey Mom RD. Thanks for watching.
Floorball for hockey players. Floorball is an excellent off-ice training sport for hockey players as players can practice stick handling, passing, and shooting skills anywhere at any time. Hockey players will love the feel of a floorball stick and the soft hands required to control the ball. The following drills will demonstrate on-ice skill development in parallel with the floorball or off-ice component. Stick handling. Floorball is a great sport for ice hockey players to practice stick handling. It allows players to practice many different moves because of the special curve on the stick and because the ball is so light. In this demonstration, the player pulls the puck in towards his body around the triangle, stick handles, and then performs a backhand flip over the obstacle. The floorball players seen here demonstrate a similar technique on the floor. Here, the player fakes a pass to his forehand side and then pulls the puck back with the backhand part of his stick blade, all in one motion, returning back to stick handling in front of his body. The same technique can be done in floorball. Floorball helps ice hockey players become better stick handlers because the same motions and muscles are used when controlling the ball or puck.
Per Mars. I'm the inventor of Marsblade and our patented flow motion technology. We have a technology that will revolutionize ice skating, just like the composite hockey stick did some 20 years ago. The technology is based on a split chassis, where the rounded upper chassis is rocking against the flat bottom one, enabling higher speed, increased power and quicker turns. I first developed the technology to transfer the feel of skating on ice to roller skating, as I wanted to improve my off-ice training. It's been pretty incredible to see all the amazing feedback that we've got from hockey players using this product around the world, ranging from kids and recreational players to NHL superstars such as Niklas Bäckström, Max Pacioretty and Henrik Zetterberg. And of course this makes us very proud. During the development of the roller frame, one of my colleagues suggested that we should make an ice holder with the same technology. I was skeptic at first and I told him it won't work. But after thinking about it, it came clear to me that there is a problem with the traditional rigid holders, as they easily dig into the ice when you lean backward or forward, causing you to lose speed. And in theory, our flow motion technology should actually enable a longer and more powerful stride, which would improve hockey players' performance. And I thought to myself, we have to try this. We have worked extremely hard to develop and verify the product, and the feedback that we get from NHL players as well as power skating coaches is incredible.
Feels like they're above the ice all the time too. It's not like you're carving down. You have a little extra push when you're like just in the end of the turn. Like it's just like you're big difference. When I had my old skate for a bit, it's just digging down.
Wow, unbelievable. You can really feel you gain some speed when you do that. This is a great feel overall. You can really challenge it. Really trust the edges, problem with sometimes the normal skates. So far they're awesome.
Feels effortless. Feels unbelievable. It's a cool feeling. The turns were so easy. You don't have to shift your weight, it does it for you.
This is good for the balance, transitions with the speed. You're not wasting your energy. For efficiency in gliding and skating, this is good. I love it.
And it almost feels like generate speed itself. It's unbelievable. It reminds me the change from a regular ski to the X-shaped skis. It's incredible the amount of push it gives you. So it's honestly like the blade is going to be something that changes the game. I really believe that now. Like from a skeptic to a believer, it's and it's not easy to convince me.
The regular holder has only one pivot point, forcing the steel blade to dig into the ice, reducing speed, while Marsblade has an extra pivot point, allowing more blade contact on the ice, creating quicker turns. The regular holder is rigid and limits the player's movement and stride length, while Marsblade allows a wider range of movement for a longer stride, creating higher speed. The regular holder quickly ends up in the front and back part of the blade, reducing stability, while Marsblade centers the pressure to improve balance and increase power. The benefits of the technology is supported by scientific research, and a study by the European leading Swedish Winter Sports Research Center shows that a longer stride is what characterizes the fastest skaters. And our initial tests shows that this is exactly what the flow motion technology enables. The performance of the prototype is verified and the players are eagerly waiting to start using them. It's time to take the final steps from this handmade carbon fiber prototype to get it to the market. We are finalizing the design of the product, and now we need your support to be able to get it into large-scale production. Back us and be among the first players on the Masterblade ice holder. Join the biggest movement happen in the hockey industry.
I snapped this photo in the summer of 1979. Actually, I stumbled across this seemingly secret training session one day as I roamed the expansive maze of corridors in the Moscow Institute for Sport and Physical Culture. What's going on here is that the overhead cable and harness arrangement is lifting the sprinter so that he weighs less than normal and so that he can run an awful lot faster than under normal conditions. This in mind, let me share an example that I often use to make this point. Consider the act of running up a hill. A runner is working against gravity here, challenging his leg strength and his conditioning. However, what you might not have considered is the fact that this sort of training is also teaching the runner's body to work slower than if he was running on a flat surface. Now, let's compare that with a runner moving down an incline. You know the feeling. With gravity sucking you down the hill, there's almost a fear of losing control. For, under such circumstances, the runner is actually running faster than if he was on level ground. And this is a fairly good example of overspeed work, in that the athlete is being assisted in the movement, and his body and all of its neuromuscular signaling devices are being familiarized with a faster pace. As a sidebar here, appreciate that some negative influences, like slowness or poor mechanics, can come about from the wearing of heavy, bulky, or tight gear. That's why I like to reduce the amount of equipment or clothing my players wear anytime I want them to work on quickness or speed. Now, overspeed drill methods can be pretty varied, but they almost always have a common approach, in that a movement is assisted in order to help a player to move faster than usual. Here's another idea I brought back from Moscow. A number of things are going on, but you should see how the movement is being aided as this young hockey player attempts to use the ball in order to jump as high as possible. And I'll suggest that there's at least a slight overspeed component to hopping on this mini trampoline, since that springy gadget greatly aids my students' movements. One way I've found to assist crossovers is through the use of centrifugal force. Of course, as with almost all of these exercises, there's some danger involved as players take turns whipping one another around at a near frightening pace. Then, for even more ideas, I might suggest looking at the numerous ways movements are traditionally resisted so as to bring about strength gains. For if you just reverse most of those drills or the training devices, you'll likely get the opposite overspeed effect. For example, bungees can be reversed, thereby helping the player to take off faster than he would under typical circumstances. And this slingshot effect can be gained in a number of different ways, as well as in a number of different training venues. I believe there's also an overspeed benefit to this one. Here, my guys are initially being resisted by their partner. However, after just a few seconds, the partner lets go, allowing the skater to bust out at a fairly good clip. Of course, some elite level athletes have also used various mechanized devices in pursuit of speed. So, while I'm not recommending any of these, I guess it's necessary for me to at least point out the use of automobiles, motorized cable systems, and fast-spinning treadmills as yet other means of training at a faster than normal pace. Finally, although everything I've described to this point primarily involves some sort of unique physical challenge, I'm going to suggest that there is a huge mental side to speed training. Think back, if you will, to what it feels like to run down a hill. Think also about what it might be like to experience the various ways I've described to propel someone beyond their usual capacity. For then you might understand why I'm constantly talking to my players about going beyond their comfort zones or about pushing the envelope. Yeah, I truly believe that overcoming the fear factor in moving at a new speed plays a major role in actually achieving it.
Dennis Chighisola's The Nature of Our Game ranks with other high-level essays, authored by the likes of Gladwell, Percival, and Coyle. It's an in-depth study of our game, it's about the challenges players face in the heat of battle, and it's about the things that influence the way players need to train, both off and on the ice. Get it now, and be well armed to answer almost any question that arises about our game.
Information, very objective data to indicate, to prove, to show what the differences are between fast skaters and slow skaters. Well, if you take all the research and you compile it down to about 8 different characteristics, we know that the 8 primary differences between fast skaters and slow skaters indicate that 4 of the 8, 50% of the characteristics have to do with a wide stride, pushing out to the side. So what Wayne Marino and what Pierre Paget found was that faster skaters had a wider stride from left to right, they had a wider left stride, they had a wider right stride, and then when they measured their angle of hip, what we call hip abduction, so that would be the angle from here with my hip, the faster skaters had a wider angle. In other words, the faster skaters had a much wider stride. Now, if you can watch a game, whoever it is, and you will notice that the faster skaters typically, traditionally, and consistently will push to the side. So 4 of the 8 have to do with the wide stride. Some of the other characteristics are a quick recovery. So in other words, after you push off, after that player pushes off, a fast skater, he or she will get his or her skate on the ice as quickly as possible. Another characteristic is once they recover, once their blade lands flat, they turn that skate into the push-off skate really, really fast. And this is something that we have found with female players with about 3 studies that we have done. Wide stride and quick recovery. So watch how quickly he gets the skate back on the ice. That's the reason Nolan is so fast. And then we've got Chris, who also is one of the best skaters in his league and on his team. Wide stride, quick recovery. Now some of the ones that are very consistent and most people will agree with is that faster skaters have a deeper knee bend when they start to push off, as well as a significant forward lean. So those are the 8 skating characteristics, the 8 differences between fast skaters and slow skaters. Wide stride, a quick recovery. Once the skate lands, it's turned into the push-off skate quickly, a deep knee bend, and then a significant forward lean with the upper body or the torso.
Workout in the fitness camp where all we do is use dynamic stabilizers. And so I thought this week, with some of the information I'm sharing with you about the dynamic stabilizer, I'd take you through 10 exercises that you can do with your camp. And all you're going to need is a 13-inch dynamic stabilizer band. Probably 2 of them per person would be good, because I think some people like to double up, but other people are going to need to go single. So let me go ahead and let me start by taking you through a few double strength left exercises to really get the hips activated, trunk activated, and then what we'll do is we'll bring it down a little bit. We'll bring it down a little bit to one dynamic stabilizer so you can start increasing some speed and cardiovascular conditioning. But let's go ahead. We're going to slide 2 bands on. We're going to get it above our knee. We're going to lock it in there. All right. Now the key is you got to keep your feet wide. So I got to keep my feet outside my shoulders. So the first exercise is just going to be a simple step drill. It's a real controlled drill, but what it does is it teaches you how to go ahead and always come back to balance, and teaches your clients how to keep their feet wide. It also challenges the frontal plane, so it's a great exercise to get started with. Very controlled. From there, we're going to just go into some simple front squats. Now, what's this going to do? Hey, it's going to start activating the quads a little bit, all right, but it's also going to go ahead and challenge them to really learn how to engage their hips on their squat. I like to go ahead, put my hands with it, and start getting them involved with really challenging themselves to go ahead and get integrated with their upper body. From there, we're going to go back to another step drill, but now we're going to do a open step. Now, this may seem like a real simple exercise, but what you'll find is a lot of people can't come back to balance. I want them to come back to this position and work it. You know, we talk about athleticism a lot here. Well, you know what? This is a very athletic move that not many people can go ahead and work. So that's the next exercise we're going to do. Now, we got to engage our trunk. So we're going to hit the floor. All right. We're going to widen out our feet. We stand up here for a second because I want to show you how to get into this. I forgot to tell you that. Widen your feet out. Now, walk it down. Keep those feet wide. Now you can engage just here and really make them have to stabilize, or you can do just a little mountain climber. Notice, it's not much of a step, but man, it really works on anti-rotation and working on getting that trunk involved. So there you go. Now walking back up. Last drill is I want to go ahead and work on some power. So what I'm going to do is start with a narrow base. I'm going to work and drop in, come back up. It's like drop squats. But you're going to work on really stabilizing. Dropping in, come back out. Stick it, back out. Stick it, back out. And stick it, back out. Let's go one more. Good. So there's 5 exercises that most people can do with a double dynamic stabilizer setup. Now, let's get rid of one and let's go with a little bit more speed. So now what I like to do is start out with 2-step lateral shuffle. So it's 2 steps and I want them to control it. I want them to learn how to control 2 steps. So it's 1, 2, touch, 1, 2, touch, 1, 2, touch, 1, 2, touch. And I want them to be able to control that. Not 3, but 2. Again, you'll be surprised at how people can't control 2 steps. So I like that exercise a lot. Now what we're going to do is high knee marching. Key here is keep those knees wide, hands here. This has got to lock in. So as I march, I don't want to see my hands moving. My hands should stay there. I'm going to bring my knees to the outside a little bit, not in. That way, the band stays tight the whole time. Nice job. Keep it up there. Burning it, burning it. Very good. Now we're going jacks. But we're not going to worry about our upper body. We're going to work on foot quickness. So we're going jacks. Real quick. How fast can you move your feet? Most people, it's not going to be a tough exercise from a hip standpoint. But how quick can they move their feet and keep it moving? Tighten your trunk. Set. Nice job. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in a little bit of mountain climber circle. All right? This engages your trunk. So wide feet, drop down. Hey, we're going circles. All the way around. Stick it all the way back. Feet have to stay wide. So it's kind of like doing a circle crawl, a circle mountain climber. But the nice thing about that exercise is you don't need a lot of space. Really engages your trunk, really gets your hips activated, keeps you rolling. My last one, burpee, baby. I love doing burpees in dynamic stabilizers because it teaches them how to stay very athletic. So we start here. We drop, we hit, we come back up. Now a couple things. You can have them stop here. Keep them right here. Drop down, right back up. Hands are ready to go. Stick it, be athletic, set. Or what you can do is have them come all the way up to give their quads a break. So it can look like this, all the way up, all the way up. Or finish up, put a little jump squat with it and really make it crazy. Here, jump squat, land. Here, jump squat, land. Make sure they land in a squat. Jump squat, land. So there you go. 10 exercises. 5 with a double band to really engage the hips and core. 5 with a single band to really bring your heart rate up, metabolic conditioning. Now, what do you want to put it with? 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds. You choose. But the higher that number goes up, the more metabolic this is going to become. The more strength training it's going to become. Make sure, technique, quality, and most importantly, hey, if you're doing any kind of dynamic stabilizer work, I want to see you athletic, knees, ankles, hips bent, and you are ready to go. That's really important. Makes you athletic, makes you ready to handle anything. Have a good time with the dynamic stabilizer. Use all 10 of them, or use whatever you want, but enjoy yourself.
This programming is brought to you by Local Video Marketing.